Peace, family. Abu Shadi here. Quick tap-in with you all. We just witnessed a most beautiful sunset here in Costa Rica. And I want to talk a little bit about the self, who you actually are, and the spiritual ego trap that is so easy to fall into. And so as we become more aware of ourselves, of our true nature, as we raise our consciousness and our understanding of reality, the ego starts to create this new story, this projection that somehow you are higher than others, that you are more advanced spiritually than others, that you are in a way better, that you are more advanced. You've gone through the certification, you've gone through the trials, you've been initiated, so you possess some sort of knowledge that puts you at a higher level, a higher frequency. And the truth is, you don't exist. The truth is, the mind is just a bundle of thoughts. And as the thoughts become more sparse, you begin to realize that you were not the thoughts, but in fact, the one noticing the thoughts. And I experienced this very clearly when it comes to making music and streaming music through my own mind, which is how a lot of my songs come through. And in that process, I witnessed how the song is happening before I am even thinking it. The thoughts are actually a response to the happening. So it's so quick because the brain, like by the time the brain has understood, and taken in all the stimuli of the environment, by the time the brain has taken in all the stimuli in the environment and created the mental projection of what's going on, that moment has already passed. So the thoughts and the thinking of this is now and the thinking of what's happening is occurring after the fact. So the music is happening, just like the life is happening. The world is happening. The Maya, the illusion, the dream is playing out. But you yourself as a separate entity are not the one thinking the dream into existence. That person does not exist. That person is a bundle of thoughts. And that bundle of thoughts can dissipate. And the question is, what remains? What is left? When the thoughts stop, but the awareness remains. So how could you be the thoughts if they stop, but you're still there? So the ego trap is that you begin to have this awareness, and so now you begin to project yourself as somebody who has this awareness. And what that is doing is it's creating more separation, because now you're distinguishing yourself from everything else. You're creating this levels of frequency, which is a layer of the dream, right? Because everything that we see as physical has expressed energetically first. But before it's expressed energetically, where is that energy emanating from? From source. And source, we can also say, is the self. And so what we need to realize is that just like we are playing out the dream, this avatar, the doing is happening through this avatar. The dream is happening through this avatar. So that means that the dream is happening through all the avatars, through everything. And so the more you truly see yourself as the self and not something separate, the more you see everybody and everything as the self and not something separate, and not at fault for their action. You can immediately forgive because you know that they know not what they do. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. And that has to apply to yourself too. You have to forgive yourself. Radical love, acceptance, and forgiveness is the quickest way to enlightenment. Because in any moment, you can just choose love. You can literally just decide to choose love, choose acceptance, choose forgiveness. And this shifts your experience of reality totally and completely. But even to realize that this seemingly free will that we possess, making these choices, choosing radical acceptance, love, and forgiveness, where is that choice coming from? Where is that choice coming from? If the separate idea of yourself is not the one doing it, if it's being done through you, where is that choice coming from? It's not your choice as a separate being. It is a predestined choice. It's already been decided. Whatever happens was meant to happen. There's no getting around it. Whatever happens was meant to happen. And so it's really like, how quickly, what does it take for you to come to acceptance and forgiveness and love in regards to what is happening? Accepting the dream, trusting in it, trusting in that higher power, that when you are moving with this love and acceptance and forgiveness, that it does always work itself out in the end. And we witness this over and over and over. We call it synchronicities. These things keep aligning. And so you might think, oh, I've made all these wrong decisions, and my life is ruined because of all these things from the past. But you can still choose love and acceptance and forgiveness right now. And the peace is there. The peace is here right now. You were never expected to be perfect. This avatar was never meant to be perfect. That is the perfection. That is the perfection of it. That it is imperfect. Because reality is perfect. Reality is untouchable. And so if that's what your true nature is, unknowable, untouchable, unchanging, bliss, oneness, no thing, the Tao, the void, if that is your true nature, then wouldn't it make sense that we would come here forgetting that? Like, that's the point of coming here and being in these bodies, is to get to experience the dream as the dreamer, as the as the character playing it out. But you don't need to get so attached to the character, and you don't need to get so attached to the movie script. Like, there's something to be said about, okay, like your thoughts create your reality, and then like doing all this. These colors are immaculate. It's like super purple and pink. I don't know if you guys can really tell in this video, but oh my. I've never seen these colors in the sky. And, right, so was it even my choice to come out here, or is this just like how the dream's playing out because how the karma has been playing out for this life path of this being? And so I can't take anything personally that anyone says or does to me, because I know that everyone is just playing out their karma, their role in the dream. Any decision I make, I was meant to make. But I didn't make it. If I didn't make the decision, who did? It's math. Everything is operating in divine order and divine, sacred, synchronistic geometry. So it all has to work out the way it has to work out. And the sooner that you come to acceptance about it all, the sooner you come to peace. And so if you are hearing these words and you are seeking this information, then that is a sure sign that you have gone through this karma for lifetimes to get to the point to hear this message that you are already free, that you are that you were never separate, that it was always an illusion that you were separate. It was always an illusion that you were this person doing these things, living this life. You have always been the self. You have always been oneness. All you need to do is surrender. Stop listening to the mind. Stop letting the mind tell you what you can and can't do. Because the mind is running on programs and stories, and they aren't you, because you are limitless. The mind, stories, and programs are limited. You are limitless. Reality is infinite. There are infinite possibilities in every moment. Open yourself up to that. Open yourself up to the fact that you don't know what is going to come in the next moment. Wow. It's a big mystery. It's unknown. And that's beautiful. Because the most life-shifting events could take place moments from now. That could change everything. Right now, it could happen. It is happening. And then realize how changing the words you're using is impacting how you feel about it all. Don't say things that aren't operating in your highest favor. And I'm just here to remind you, to remind Spirit, it is working through me, through what is even me. I don't even exist. It's just working. It's just happening. You don't need to overthink it. Just take the message in. Just receive it. Do what thou wilt with it. So realize that the dream is happening through you. It's happening through everybody that you meet. You need not judge. You need not try to control. Just trust in God. Trust that God knows. And in that trust, it all unfolds exactly as it should. That is all.